Hey there, it's Sara, and before we dive into the topic, I've got something exciting for you. My 100-day alcohol-free challenge, the Push to 100, is starting on September 12th, but I'm only accepting 30 people for this round. If you're even thinking about going all in on your alcohol-free journey, this is your sign. The waitlist is now open, and it's the only way to get first dibs when applications launch. Head to nomorewasteddays.co/100 waiting list. Again, that's nomorewasteddays.co/100 waiting list. And the link is also in the show notes to this episode. So head there and get on the list today. Welcome to another episode of the No More Wasted Days podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sara.
I'm Heather.
And today we're going to be talking all about stress management and replacing the reward loop. So this is kind of stress management 2.0 because it's something we've talked about before. Like one of our very early episodes was all about stress management and people loved it. It's one of the most downloaded episodes. So I was like, oh, this is something we have to remember to talk about. But I also just don't want to repeat myself. But Heather said today, I need this one too. So
I do.
Yeah.
I really do.
I think sometimes it's like that information where we're like, oh, we already know this information. But when you hear it at a different time in your journey or you're at a different place, it just helps a whole bunch. So just know that today it's going to be stress management, but with a little twist. And I want you to know that stress is often the trigger for drinking for so many people. So if that's you, please don't feel alone. But it's the reward loop that keeps people stuck. And it's also, even as I was doing the research, the reward loop is what gets people into transfer addiction. So if you're finding yourself on your alcohol-free journey, but you're like, well, now I smoke weed, or now I eat so much sugar, or now I doom scroll. This is going to help with that too. I know for me, the time that I normally drank when I first quit drinking was after a long day at work. I felt like I deserve this. So wine after work or a beer after work was the reward. Do you know when you were mostly searching for that reward?
I would say from starting getting itchy at 3 p.m., like Jonesing, and then definitely from 4 to 8, Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday morning, really like early afternoon, I was like, okay, I did X, Y, or Z. Where is my wine?
Yeah, I would always like, if I did a few chores on Saturday, it'd be like, okay, well now I'm going to do this. Or like, okay, I took the kids to their kid museum playtime. Now it's my time. So I had a lot of different reward loops, and it's something that I've learned about myself as I've gone farther and farther on the journey. You're probably just the same, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is I want you to start working on understanding the old reward loop. And I want you to know that the reward loop starts with stress, and then it usually moves to a drink or some other fix. If you're farther on your journey, you've been alcohol-free for a while, and now it's sugar, right? And that offers temporary relief. And then because it's only temporary relief, we repeat it. And that's why it's a loop and we're just kind of stuck on it. So it becomes a habit because of this. And it becomes a habit because it's fast. It's socially normalized to drink when we're feeling stressed. And it works in the short term. It really steals in the long term. It steals from our peace. It steals in the form of bringing us anxiety later on, or just feeling crummy later on. So we can get stuck in that reward loop. And remember, it can be in other ways, with overeating, scrolling, shopping, zoning out. There's just all different things. And it's not about willpower. It really is about pattern recognition. So as we're going through this, I really want you to be thinking, what is my reward loop? Don't feel guilty about your reward loop. Like, everybody has one.
Yeah. It's
right?
good to have one. You just got to find the one that's good for you.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about too, like upgrading the reward loop and making it so we still get the reward, but we get it in a more fulfilling way. But first, I just want you to think about what the long-term effects can be of staying in this reward loop. We've talked about this a lot lately. The first one is burnout. And I feel like it has been a theme. We're getting to the home stretch here. Me and Heather have been recording a lot of episodes so we can actually take our summer break off. So you're probably listening to this towards the end of summer, but just know as we've been talking about all this burnout, this stress, it's because we're doing that last final push, at least for me, like getting the kids done with 8th grade. And I can feel the burnout happening, but I actually, at this point, I'm starting to feel the burnout going away. Where are you
Yeah.
at on that?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
Last Thursday, I took my daughter to get her well check and her shots for kindergarten. That was interesting on the heels of a lot of burnout. And then, like, we were definitely, well, let me rephrase that. I caught myself back in the May-Cember hustle mentality where we were just going here and going there. And that's just like the stress loop. Like you can get really comfortable with the stress to where
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, I need to feel every second because that's what I've been doing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And I do feel like when you are stuck, when you just keep repeating that reward loop over and over, that's when that burnout happens. You can also start to feel, if you're stuck in the reward loop, emotional stagnation, which I'm very guilty of. Like, I want to explain it almost as emotionally flat, but you're
mm-hmm,
emotionally flat, but in a very down way. It's
mm-hmm.
hard to find the positive. And like today, I did a meditation and he was like, first, I just want you to think of everything you're grateful for. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I haven't thought of gratitudes in a while. So it was actually a little hard for me at first because I have been emotionally stagnant lately. And I know some of that is, Ryan's dad passed away. I know I've tried to maybe push that down a little bit, but I feel like I've been pretty good about that actually, and grieving and working through that. But it is just kind of, you think of murky water, and those are
Yeah.
your emotions, and they're just kind of there. You feel that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Apathetic almost. Like, meh.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's how it is. Just, I'll just get through this. And then once you're emotionally stagnant, then there starts to be that resentment. We were talking about this on a podcast episode that I just edited. Did you listen to it? We
I
were
don't know. I listened to one recently. Tell me.
we were talking about you were resenting your cat for being
Oh
happy.
God.
I
Hmm.
was resenting my dog for not having to deal with
Life. Yeah.
life, just like
Yeah.
existing.
I would have say that one time I resented person in leadership at my nonprofit for what I perceived as being able to do one thing at a time. And I was on that spree for a long time. Like, well, it must be nice and for somebody to be able to do one thing at a time. Like
Yeah.
in my head. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I get stuck. I can get stuck in resentment for sure. I will say I don't resent my kids very much. I more just think, I wish they understood how absolutely lucky they were, how being a teenager is maybe the best time of your life because you don't have to do any adulting.
Yeah. I think they
Just,
will.
I know they will because I know now. I'm like, okay, I know now. But, and then the last thing where we can get, like our long term effect, if we get stuck in that reward loop of drinking or something unhealthy as the reward we're giving ourselves, we're going to find disconnection from our true needs. And that's where I think it is so hard when we first quit drinking to say, well, what do I even need? What do I even want as a reward that isn't alcohol? And it can be so hard because that old loop would spike your cortisol and then numb it and just never fully resolve it. So now we're in this place where we're just going, I don't even know how to make this happen. So even after you quit drinking, you'll find yourself being stuck in similar reward patterns. And that's why that transfer addiction happens too, which is always an interesting topic. We might have to redo on
Yeah.
that one too.
I think we should.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a stress management 2.0 framework to get you through this pattern, to get you through this reward loop and do it in a new way, do it in a healthier way, because it's still going to happen. You're still going to have stress. You still need to fix that stress in some way. But I'm going to give you, what is it? I think it's 4 steps. Let me scroll down. Oh, only 3 steps. So a 3-step process. Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. The first thing, step number 1 is to pause and pattern break. So catch yourself mid trigger. Like when a craving happens, catch yourself and name the emotion or stressor. I'm feeling stressed out because it's the end of my day. I'm feeling stressed out because I have this deadline at work. Or I'm feeling stressed out because my kids are constantly asking me questions over and over,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just name it, because I feel like so much of the time we don't stop and acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And that's a big, big deal. And
Yeah.
then I want you to ask yourself, what do I really need right now? And this is a question that Heather has asked before. It's a question that I've asked before. I want you to have this one in your brain.
Yeah.
This is, oh my gosh, this one is so important. And when I remember to use it, I feel I feel like such an amazing person when I remember. Do you feel the
Yeah.
same?
Oh, yeah. And two, like if you say what you want, it'll help you understand what you need.
Mm-hmm.
So if what you want is alcohol, what you need is likely rest, peace, help, a break, a snack,
Yeah.
always water, or you need connection with people because you're bored or lonely, or you need to stop the task that you're doing because it's giving you anxiety, which is stressing you out, then you're overwhelmed, you need to shift.
Yeah, exactly. So really do ask that question and get that one to be one that's memorized for you, because it's hard when a trigger hits, when you're stressed, to lean on these tools. You're just like, I don't even remember the tools. But now we've heard this one a lot. So it's like, what do I need right now? And also think, what I love that, what do I want right now? Because I do things like I'll think a lot, I want to run away.
Yeah.
That's my main one that I will feel. And then I think to myself, well, what is in wanting to run away, what am I searching for? And usually it's freedom. Like when I think about, oh, it's freedom from this stressor. Like when I picture myself running away, I picture myself getting in the car and driving and just like, oh. So then I'll go, okay, well, I can recreate that by listening to music, because that's part of me driving in my car. I can recreate that by going on a quick walk. So that's step number 2. You're going to rewire the reward. Once you've figured that out, replace the reward with something that regulates and restores, because just running away from my problems isn't going to fix anything, right?
Yeah, I tried. I
Me
tell you, it
too.
doesn't work.
I know. I'm always like, oh, I'm just going to back up and run away. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, that's, you're an adult, that won't work. But so some of the things you can do to regulate, that will regulate and restore, are movement. You can walk, you can dance, you can stretch. Please don't overthink the movement. Just start
Move.
moving your body. Heather was talking about shaking it out,
Hmm.
and Taylor Swift's Shake It Out came on the other day on the playlist.
Yes.
And I was kind of chuckling to myself, but I was like, yeah, shake it out, man.
Shake it out.
Get it out. Another thing you can do is connection. So text a friend, hang out with your pet, those pets that we're always resenting. Go,
Right?
go pet them. They help
That
you.
was fleeting. I was petting old Kitten Houston this morning. We're back. We're better now.
I know. I was going to say Cosmo was going through a phase too. Maybe it's their age, because they're very close in the same age. And he was like bonkers for, I feel like, a good month. And he seems a little regulated now. I'm like, okay, I
Uh,
like
yeah.
this. It must be something. But also in that connection can be, if you're part of the Daymakers community, or if you're working with Heather one-on-one, you can connect with those people as well. But I think connection is the one that I lose the quickest. And I have to get back in and say, okay, text a friend, go walk, go hang out with my chickens. Not
Yeah.
so much connection, but it does help. And then nourishment. This is, oh my gosh, half the time I'm feeling stressed, it's because I'm hungry or I'm thirsty. So please check that and make yourself a nice mocktail. Think of a nourishing snack. I always try to think, okay, I'm going to eat something with a little bit of protein, a healthy fat, and like fruit or a vegetable. So, and
Yeah.
honestly, like anything.
Anything. We want to regulate our blood sugar.
Yeah.
And I keep a little bit of almonds and an apple in my ridiculously large purse because I have them for my daughter. And then I'm like, well, I need a snack because I'm not
Yeah.
always at home. And those quick, I can do it going down the road.
Oh my gosh, I found myself with like no snacks on our last family adventure. Like we had eaten through all of them. And even my mom said, I can't imagine you ever being without snacks or some food. Like you're
Right.
always pretty good about packing enough for everybody. And I was like, I know. By the end of the night, I was like, what else do we have in this car? And it was like nothing. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Luckily,
Oh,
I had water. So I was like, just Drink water, get yourself until you can get home. So, another thing we can do to rewire, regulate, restore is step outside, get yourself into some nature, okay? Do some grounding, enjoy some sunlight. I love to just, when I'm thinking, oh gosh, I just need a break, go sit outside, especially if you can find a sunny spot and let the sun just hit you, even for 1 minute. Some
Yeah.
people take off their shoes, ground with the earth,
Yeah.
take that moment. It does not have to be a 5 mile hike.
No. I was watering I'm a new plant mama, and I was watering my new little sprouts of petunias and marigolds this morning, and it was being in nature-ish and
Yeah.
being outside, and the sun was nice. So it definitely helps reset, even if, and nothing has to be wrong to do these things, right? It's just a good way to keep it steady.
Yeah. And that's one thing to remember. Like, it's good to have these tricks up your sleeves when you are super stressed, but also just remember to do these things from time to time. And that will keep you balanced, like Heather said. And then the last one is do some breath work or meditation. Again, breath work, it can simply be breathing in, breathing out, slow, controlled. And a meditation, grab a meditation app, download it on your phone, and do a 5 minute meditation. If you're able to do that. Sometimes we're not able to in those moments, right? It's like we're parenting or we're working, and you can't just be like, oh, time to meditate. But you always have time to slow down and breathe. So please do that. All right. So step number 3 of the framework is that you're going to reframe the win. You got through this, okay? You did something new, and now I want you to celebrate with a new win. So you can tell yourself things like, I stayed with myself, or I moved through the feeling, not around it, or I kept a promise to myself. And I think it is so important for us to have this final step where we say, hey, good job. You actually did this. I think this is the step that most people will skip. It's so important to acknowledge yourself, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I want you to think about the idea of having a reward menu. So I gave you all these different rewards you can have, but from those that I gave you, come up with a list of 3 to 5 that are your healthy rewards when stress hits. You can have this as a screensaver on your phone, so you see it quickly. You can have it on your fridge. You could have it on a Post-it note and your mirror in your bathroom. Put it somewhere so you see it, right? I think that that's like, I always tell people it's hard to remember all this stuff. So actually do the little bit of work it takes to write it down, create that reward menu, and post it somewhere where you see it.
If you could just type it out on the notes section of your phone, screenshot it, and save it as your wallpaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Like really low tech.
Yeah. So now I want you to actually think about, like, what are your triggers? Where are the times that you catch yourself in your reward loop that used to be alcohol? One of mine used to be when I would cook dinner. I would get home from work, I was tired, and then I would be cooking dinner. And then I would feel this resentment, which is one of those words we talked about, right? That, oh my gosh, why am I the person who cooks dinner? Why do I have to do this? Nobody else is working on this. And then I would think, well, I'm going to have a glass of wine while I do it. I deserve it. So I had to rewire it. And I had to start going, instead of thinking, oh, why am I the only one who does this? Start thinking, this is some quality alone time that I get during this, right? Put on some headphones, listen to a funny podcast, have a mocktail instead. So my rewire became that I was listening to something funny, and that then I was having a mocktail, so which can be nourishing yourself, hydrating yourself. And a lot of times too, while I'm cooking dinner, I'm snacking as I go. So there's a little bit of nourishment there. So what was your number one? Do you remember?
Stress and emotions, which tend to go hand in hand,
Yeah.
and that can happen at such a sporadic time.
Yeah.
And pair that with a shitty day at work and some emotions when you walk through the door, good, bad, or indifferent. It's like
Yeah.
almost permission. Like I thought about this the whole way home, and now something is slightly uncomfortable or potentially something to celebrate
Yeah.
or not. Let's just do that. And stress, I did like a relapse prevention plan with my therapist proactively, and stress is definitely the number one cause of relapse.
Yeah. And what did you come up with for what were your number one rewards that you started turning to?
We really just managed what to do if. And it's a really good question. Remember a reward. And then I learned that the tip was the reward over
Okay.
sister or
Yeah.
listening to a particular playlist. Like that is the reward, right? Because it made me feel good. It made me feel better. And then I love to pair things. So I would do all of the tips at the same time,
Yeah.
the tips that I wrote for myself. And then, of course, like Dove chocolate. Because, so I guess my reward was probably sugar,
Oh, me
which
too.
if you've been listening for a while, oh Lord, that was a long one. But from a harm reduction standpoint, much better than booze.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And it's kind of like it's me with my tonic water at night. Like it's a little bit of sugar, a tasty little treat. But sometimes those tasty little treats come into become binges on sugar. But it harm reduction standpoint, way better than drinking. So I want you to just think about your reward loops. They might be that it starts with the managing the chaotic mornings, especially if you have kids and you're in charge of getting everyone out of the door on time. How can you fit it into that moment? That probably wasn't a moment where you were like, now I'm going to drink, but it can set the tone for the day.
Hmm.
So think about how you can turn your chaotic mornings into not so chaotic. I'm not going to tell you your mornings are going to be perfect. Like I still have chaos every morning,
Yeah.
but I will say it is self created chaos. It is me getting super stressed out when I can manage how I'm reacting to it. And that's something that I have learned. So almost that's my reward there. Like, how can I show up for this in a different way? Or maybe it's parenting stress during dinner or during nighttime routine with your kids. That can be a big one when I talk to people. Or maybe it's work meetings. But I really want you to go through your life and recognize these and even jot them down places. Again, have a notes on your phone that's like my habit loops and just start going, oh, here's one. Here's one. It's really, really good to have these. And I just want you to look at them and then go through that 3-step framework. And it's going to start becoming like second nature for you. And just think about realistic alternatives that will fit into busy lives. Because for us moms out there, yeah, right. It's like I told my mom goes, "When do you wake up these days?" And I said, "Oh, right now I have my alarm clock set for 4:30, but I never get out of bed at that time. So I need to change it." But I told her I said, "When the kids are in school, it's the only like it's when I can wake up and be alone. So once I'm up, I never mind it and I make sure I go to bed early enough to get enough sleep, but we're busy people.
Yeah.
So find that time for yourself and do these things. I want you to know that it takes time to shift and that habit loops are really sticky. And sometimes you may be thinking, I made it through this one, but now it's time to like it shows up again, it surfaces, and that'll happen. And if you want to know more about habit loops, I think the book is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Check that one out. It is so helpful. And another one is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Both of those, well, it sounds like, oh, it's going to be a really boring read. I listened to both of them and they have both been so helpful on my alcohol free journey. I didn't think they would be, but it turned out
Yeah.
that so much of drinking is habitual.
Yeah.
So,
Oh God. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It was funny when I quit. I was like, oh, it's not so much an addiction, it's a habit. And then I was like, oh, they kind of go hand in hand, right?
Hmm. Oh
and
yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I just never thought about it that way. I was kind of like, oh, it's an addiction. And that's all I would think.
Hmm.
And then you're like, oh, because it's a habit. So
Right.
it is just figure all that out. So I want you to work on choosing those different rewards. Really think about it as an act of self-love when you're doing this. When you're rewarding yourself with something that's healthy, something that regulates you, what a wonderful thing to do to yourself. And remember that you're becoming the kind of person who listens to what you need instead of what you've always done. And
Yes.
yeah. And just remember stress is inevitable and your reward loop is a choice. You can change it, you can fix it. Create a plan now before the stress hits. We talked about a lot of different ways to do that. And also remember that progress is greater than perfection. There's going to be times where you get through a habit loop and it's awesome. There's going to be times where you get through it and it's a big old mess. It's okay. You're
Yeah.
always learning. And
Yes.
then I
Absolutely.
have some journaling for you guys. I know
Ooh.
people always enjoy these when I put them in there, But after you've listened to this, I want you to reflect or journal on these two questions, and I'll try to remember to put them into the show notes. What has my go-to reward loop looked like? And I want you to think about this in terms of alcohol or whatever unhealthy substance or habit you may have there. So, what has my go-to reward loop looked like? And then ask yourself, what's one new reward I'd like to try this week? So simple, right? Nothing too deep there, but it'll be big work.
Yeah, I'll be doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I have to remember to do those things from time to time too. Especially sometimes I think I don't have anything to journal about. And then I'm like, what? No,
Yeah.
I have so many things I can journal about. So that is our episode on stress management 2.0. And I really hope this one is helpful for you. Stress can just be, it really is the number one reason people relapse. So it's really important to be on top of this. If you liked this episode, be sure to rate it, write a review. We always love reading those. And if you haven't already, check out the show notes and hop into the Daymakers. You can try out 2 weeks for just $7. So that gets you access to at least 2 group coaching calls during those 2 weeks. So you can hear what those are like, and you can experience the book club and the private chat and all of that stuff. And definitely check out one-on-one coaching with Heather as well to do some of that deep work with some guidance.
Absolutely. We'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.